Okay, another beautiful day in West Gray, and the sun is shining, blue sky, no clouds, early in the morning, well, say about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're gonna just play with the Fimi X8 Mini. So if you just bought it, and yes, there's a bit of a struggle doing the compass calibration, but you do that, you get through it, do the gimbal, and you figure that out. And when you start your app up, it's all set to medium. It's auto, general, center. And what I'm going to do, I have the grid lines on, but I'm not going to change anything like that, just for an experiment. I'm going to look at the firmware here, and we're up to 107D. Okay, so I've never really tried medium on the video, so this is going to be medium. And then we're going to go through medium. We're going to go 1080p 30, 1080p 60. I'm going to keep it 1080p because that's what I do all my videos in, just for a comparison for me. Then we're going to go up and do some sunny, some cloudy, to see what happens. We're going to go to F-log. We're going to do all that. Okay, so let's do an automatic takeoff here and see what happens. There we go. And it's going up to its designated 4 meters or so. And takeoff is complete. Let's start that video. So this is 1080p, 30 frames per second, and we're on medium quality. So let's just go up and see what that horizon looks like. We'll try and maintain about 25 meters. And somebody did mention, let's just bring this down a bit. There we go. That if I go forward, something happens to the gimbal. Straight forward. Yep. Goes down a little bit. So let's bring that gimbal up a bit. And turn it around. The horizon's not bad, but I have it set to -0.6 on the R axis. Okay, and let's just come back and see what happens to that gimbal. Yep, the gimbal pops down. So where are we here? Okay, let's come back. So if you have the gimbal more than 50% or around the 50% skyline, it's going to bump back up again. So let's try this one more time. We'll bring the gimbal up, about 50-50, and we'll come forward. And the gimbal pops back up again. Okay. Let's turn it around. Let's drop that gimbal, see where we are. Here we are. Okay, so what's that like? The colors are pretty good from what I'm looking at here. Okay, so we're going to stop that video. And we've tested the gimbal, and that is a little wonky if you go up higher. And we're going to go to 60 frames per second. And this is in medium. This is 60 frames per second. Let's do 60 frames per second. Bring that gimbal up a bit. And there we go. And we're coming back over here. And we'll drop that gimbal a bit. Just look at this. And there's the backyard. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's bring it down a bit. And we'll get centered, and we'll turn around and look at the lake again. Over there. Okay, so that was all on medium. So let's stop that video. And we're going to change that to high. So everything else is the same. So this is high, 1080p, 60, center, and then we're going to go to 30 again. Start the video. So this is 60p on high quality. So let's go. There we go. Go out towards the lake. As we turn around, there's the lake. There we go. This is centering. Okay, so then we're going to go to stop that, and we're going to go to 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second. That darkened things up a bit, didn't it? Let's bring that down a bit. I want to turn around. We'll go back out towards the lake again. And we'll just head out to the lake. Here we go, start the video. We're at 30 frames per second. And we're there we go. The colors look pretty good. The gimbal looks pretty good. Stop that video. And we're going to go to average. We're on a high. Let's go to center. Let's go to average and see what happens. And we're at 30 frames per second. So let's go 60 frames per second. Okay, here we go. 60 frames per second on average. I have to bring that camera up a bit because it does crop it in quite a bit. Here we go, and we'll turn around and go forward. 60 frames per second on average. Okay, stop that one. We're going to go F-log. So we're going to go back to center. We're going to go to white balance as auto. Well, let's do white balance at sunny. And it is sunny. So let's see what happens with this coloring. And we're at 60 frames per second. This is with sunny. I think the colors are off a little bit. Stop that one. Let's go to 30 frames per second. Frames per second, see if that's any better. So this is 30 frames per second. Looks a little darker on sunny, doesn't it? Okay, let's stop that one. So now we're going to go back to, we'll keep it on center, go back to general, auto, and we're going to go to F-log. And we're going to go F-log, which is color. Yes. F-log. Okay, and we're at 30 frames per second center. So let's start the video. And let's go out. Back to the house. Let's bring that down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's F-log at 30 frames per second. Stop that. We're going to go F-log at 60 frames per second. And we have to bring that camera up a bit. Here we go. Start the camera. It's like the mirrors on your car. They may appear farther away than they are, closer than they are, in 60 frames per second. There we go, let's stop that. And what can we go to now? We've got F-log. Let's go back to general. We're on center, auto, 60 frames per second. Let's just go back to 30 frames per second. And it's on high. There we go. And we're back to standard. Now that hill there might not be, yeah, I think that's more like where the horizon is. So again, if I put the camera up to look at the sky and go forward. Well, let's start the camera here. If I go forward, the camera goes down a bit. It doesn't bounce, but it comes down a bit. So it kind of mellows out at the 1/3. And if I come farther down, it kind of stays there. See, if I stop and then go forward again, it doesn't go anywhere. So it's only if it's up above about the 50% mark. Turn it around. There we go. Okay, stop that. What else do we got? As far as this goes, we've got auto, general, center, high. That's about it, I guess. We've done the F-log, the sunny, and we've actually got a screen recording, so that's pretty good. We've got 30, so let's go to 60 for the last one, just as a recap. It crops in quite a bit. You've got to bring that camera up a bit. And we're going to go up a little higher now. So let's go. We've got a little bit of battery left. We're going to double it, so we're going to go up to about 50. And we'll do a return to home. 55. Okay, let's bring that camera. If I go straight forward at this, does it do it? No, let's start the camera. There we go. Let's bring that up a bit. There we go. And forward. Yeah, it brings it down to about the 1/3. Yeah, I like to come there, about there. There's the lake. Let's go past the lake, and we're at 60 frames per second because it's cropped in pretty good. See how far we can go over there. 36%. That little H is not there for home anymore. We'll do a return to home from here. Fail-safe return to home. And we'll see what happens. It's disconnected when it turns around. Last time was 30 seconds. There we go. A little bit faster this time. I will say I've got really no fears of the fail-safe return to home. I did do a test before on that and it worked pretty good. I think this time was a little bit faster to reconnect, so we're 1080p at 60. And the colors look a little better. Low battery, please come home. Yep. Just going to stop this video here to check out what's going on. Once I'm going to cancel my return to, well, let's see what happens with the return to home. Then I'll see what I was on the last one there. Because it almost looks like I've got an average on, because those greens are pretty bright. And it's coming down. There's the H again. Okay, it's coming down. Let's drop that camera. And I can cancel by a click of the button. I'll cancel it. Okay, stop that video. Turn it around. It's off by about 2 meters. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but we will find out. Bring that camera up. And let's just look and see what my camera settings were. General, center, auto. Yep. Okay. Well, that's about it. Let's bring it in for a hand catch here. Low battery. And underneath. Bingo. That was pretty good. So no real damages, no real problems. The biggest problem I had, I think, turn it off. Maybe the biggest issue I had was what? Oh, I don't know. I think it was a pretty good flight. Okay, thank you.